Welcome, this is Gordon Mann sitting down with DeSales women's basketball coach Fred Richter here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. Coach team played its first game today against Carthage and fell to the Lady Reds by 6. DeSales now 5-5 on the season. I know you're kind of trying to find your way without Hannah Smith, who we weren't able to see today. For the folks who did watch the game, we'll check out the box scores. Tell us a little bit about Hannah and what it is you're missing with her out on offense.
We're 4-time defending champs of our league. The last two are because of Hannah Smith being our point guard and getting the ball to the right people, making sure that defensively we're doing the right thing. So when she went down in the middle of our second game and hasn't played since, we've had to make some major adjustments. Overall, I think the girls have adjusted very well, but it's very difficult to put two guards and make them point guards instead of Hannah. So, we're missing that element. And it's not an excuse because, we beat Keene. We've had some quality wins.
Right.
Our consistency has been an issue, and that's something we'd like to think when Hannah's healthy, we'll become a little more consistent.
Well, tell us a little bit about Hannah as a player. I know she's among the nation's leaders in assists to turnovers, senior leader. What is she like as a floor general for you guys?
She's a verbal as well as a leader by example. She has a very even keel, very few things upset. She gets us into our offense and defense almost seemingly almost effortlessly. And if you watch today's game, we had issues with that in the first half. We never got into our offense on a consistent basis. And defensively, we had some issues about what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. Those kinds of things are Hannah's strengths. Getting the ball to the right people, not forcing plays. I think Hannah was averaging 2 or 3 points a game. But when you're averaging 6 or 7 assists and only having 1 or 2 turnovers, everybody becomes a better player.
Right. We're talking with Coach Fred Richter here. Coach, Hannah goes down 2 games into the season. She's your senior guard, and you have a relatively young roster besides that. I know you have Sherelle, who's a senior. So as a coach now, you're 2 games in, and you kind of have to reshuffle things. You mentioned playing with two guards. How do you pull that together in, kind of on the fly?
Well, it sort of looks like it's on the fly because the reality is we're not that comfortable with each other on the floor. And when we are, we're pretty good. Right. And when we're not, we really look like we don't have a rudder. Okay. And there were times today that just really disappointed in our inability to make basketball plays on the floor. Second half, our effort was excellent. We made up for some of our inability to stop their post game as strong as they were in the first half. I thought we did a pretty good job in the second half. We still have to score to win, but we're looking at today's loss as a learning experience and building on that. Tomorrow we face the same kind of team at WPI, the high-low combination, 2 big kids that they look for. So we have a lot of work to do.
I'm gonna get her pronunciation of her last name wrong, so you can correct me here. But she was the Rookie of the Year in the MAC and the Rookie of the Year for D3Hoops.com in the Mid-Atlantic region. Sandrine Globus, is that right?
Sandrine Globus.
Does her role change at all with Smith out of it? Do you look for her to be more of a ball handler? Or?
No, we don't ask Sandrine to do much ball handling. We like her in the open court. So a couple times today when they were pressing, we'd like to get the ball to Sherelle and have Sandrine back up to the from 75 feet away, getting the ball and then have her place in open court. But not as a ball handler, more as a penetrator, slasher who can create scores for herself and other people.
What do you want her to do in her sophomore year? What steps forward do you want her to take after a pretty excellent freshman campaign?
Sure. I think a lot of what Sandrine needs to work on is defensive. She's having some trouble staying out of foul trouble. She's having some trouble with cutters. She's having some of those kinds of problems, mostly because she's in a mode of simply just takes a look at the situation and guesses and doesn't necessarily follow our rules about how we're going to double team, how we're going to rotate, how we're going to play on man-to-man. So some of those shortcomings become more obvious when you play very good teams. We happen to play one of the better teams schedules in the country, so it means that we all have to step up and do what we're all capable of doing. Offensively, she averages 19 points a game. The fact that we have 2 kids averaging 9 and another 8, I'm very comfortable with that. All 4 of those kids are capable of big games at any time, and it's nice to have to know that you have a kid that can put the ball in the hoop on a regular basis. And the other kids are pretty good as well. Faith is an awfully good 3-point shooter. And although it didn't look it today, she's really been a strong wing for us. And Sherelle Simmons and Colleen Gavin have both done a pretty good job inside. They played together for 2 years, and actually 3. Colleen started midway through this sophomore year, and Sherelle has been starting since freshman. So although we're young with only 1 senior on the floor, I know a lot of people say, geez, you look like you're awfully young, Coach, how you're making it. And the reality is, I don't look at us as young. If you look at how many freshmen we're playing, we're really only playing 2, Mikey McCabbage and Alex Sook. So, it's not like we're mixing in kids who don't have time. Everybody else had pretty good playing time last year. So, my expectations are higher than reasonable at times, but doing this for as long as I have, the higher the expectations, the more you're going to get from it. If it's okay that you win, if it's okay when you only do things some of the times and you'll learn a bit better, okay is a verbal and non-verbal kind of, I'm doing the best I can, but you haven't really pushed yourself, and I'm known to push.
You're also known to win. 413 victories. You're one of 2 coaches at DeSales in any sport that have over 400 wins. And I've been following and watching the Bulldogs now probably about 11 years, and I've seen you have had some really special individual players. Leanne Burke was an All-American. The Antolik sisters were both very good. But you've also had a lot of players like Sherelle Simmons who have been sort of key role players along the way. So tell us a little bit about Sherelle. I know she's a defensive standout for you.
Sherelle is somebody who we'd like to get more offense from. We're running the same stuff for the 4s and 5s, and she's getting 8 shots, and the other kids are getting 12 and 15. We'd like her to be a little more assertive offensively. She's our shot blocker. She can play the post. She can play the high post. There's a lot of things that she can do. She's very unselfish, almost too much sometimes. But we need her to be strong. We need her to play well. She's had some awful good games this year, and she's had some games where we had to go find her. And we'd like to have that consistent end of the year feel that we've had the last 3 years with her. We won it earlier.
Well, you play in a conference that has some great individual players. There's actually not too many conferences that have 2 preseason All-Americans, but the MAC Freedom does have that. Christine Marks and Misericordia, and I just talked with her not too long ago from Eastern University, Shantae Jones. How, when you put your team together for those types of players, and you're the 4-time reigning champs in the MAC Freedom, how do you scheme for those types of players?
Well, we schemed the same way we schemed today. We didn't follow through with the scheming too well in the first half. We left our posts isolated with their posts, and they just did a super job. We scheme a team defense, and I keep telling the kids, it's not man-to-man, ladies, it's our red defense. Don't get so hung up about your person. You've got to be a helper and a recoverer, not just somebody who's hugging your own person to make sure they don't score. And this team has had more trouble with that than I would like it to have. So we're getting there in that way. Over the years, we've been pretty good defensively. It's the only way we win.
Right.
So we keep pushing that. That's for sure.
And a last question for you. We were talking before, I think we started rolling. This is your 3rd time here in Las Vegas. Your first time at the D3 Hoops Classic. It's only in its 2nd year. I'm always sort of curious, how as a coach do you put that schedule together? Where do you say, this is a good year to go to Vegas, or this is a good year to go to the Bahamas? There's probably always a good year to go there, but how do you put that together? What are you looking for besides kind of a destination?
I hate to oversimplify this, but it comes down to money.
Okay.
We travel once every 4 years.
Okay.
It takes us 4 years to get the money together. We don't have a godfather. We don't have a booster club. We have kids that work my camp, and all the money goes there. So what happens with us is I promise every 4-year player that they will travel in their 4 years. Vegas worked for us 2002, 2006, and now 2011 because it's a place. It's a hot spot,
right.
Yet it's a hot spot for Division III basketball. These tournaments that we've been in, for instance, this is the 2nd time we played Carthage. We played Carthage the first time we came here. We were in overtime way before Coach took over.
Okay.
We played Simpson before. Simpson's here again. We've had some good runs. We played some Ohio teams last time that we were here. It's nice to go outside, and I like to do my things for the most part in season, where I have control of everything. Curfew, basketball with basketball players, and when you go to Europe and things like that, and we've done that once to Ireland. What happens is we've got seniors playing that have already graduated. They don't necessarily have to play by the rules. They do out of respect, but I'm not sure how much you get out of it. I'm an in-season kind of guy. I travel to Europe with my wife all the time. I don't need to take them.
He's Fred Richter, and I'm Gordon Mann, and this is your coverage of the D3Hoops.com Classic here from Las Vegas, Nevada.